So this could either go really well or really poorly, but there's this race, right?
For more than 50 years, the Peachtree Road Race.
Peachtree Road Race.
4th of July Peachtree Road Race.
This is the Peachtree Road Race, and it is one of the biggest 10K races in the world. Every year during Independence Day, the race takes over the city of Atlanta and has been a staple of the city for 50 odd years. And as well, for those who haven't kept up with the channel lore, some of you might recall I may have done some running every now and again.
Let's go, Duncan!
Go on, Duncan, you're right there!
I'm dying on the inside. Recently, however, I've been getting into running more and more. I got new running shoes over Thanksgiving. I found a run club back where I go to college in Nashville. I even challenged myself to run 150 miles by the end of this calendar year. That being said, I've never run a race longer than 5K. So with that in mind, it is May 15th, 2024. The Peachtree Road Race is 50 days away, and we are going to be trying to run the longest race in my life in less than an hour.
T-shirts, the USA merchandise.
Let's run it up. Day one of training, and I was quite exhausted and a little groggy. I'd gone on a camp out with my scout troop the weekend before, but I still decided that I would go running. And for that, I just put on my running shoes and went to my local park. And the goal was simple: put a benchmark down.
Run number one, this is gonna be a banker. Whole goal of this is to run as long as possible at maybe like 75% effort. We'll see how far I can run. Usually it'll translate to 3 miles. If I can push 4, we'll try. We'll see. Let's get stretched up. Let's do this.
Yeah, we didn't quite do it. This right here, this is our baseline. And if we want to be able to actually do this, do it right, do it well, and be able to do this in under an hour, we gotta keep moving. We cannot stop at 2.7 miles. If I did this on race day, we would get rolled with our goal. The run felt good up until the very end, and at that point, starting to feel it in my chest. Not every day is gonna be as bad as this, but we need to, like, if that makes sense. I'm rambling, but it definitely felt like I was pushing. Could be that I pushed too hard, but I think from here, we need to go back home. We need to make a plan. Okay, so this is the plan. Now, of course, we obviously need to focus on pacing. Our goal is to do 10K in under or equal to 1 hour. And in order to do that, we need to come up with plans to get from 2.7 miles, which is what we did on Monday, down to 6.24, which is the race distance. That basically equals each other. So yeah. Now, when I filmed all that, it was about 7 weeks to the beginning of the race. The race is on July 4th. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks until race day. Luckily, this is a 6-week plan that I found on the internet. This plan right here is going to be most of the Bible that we're going to be running off of, quite literally. And it's saying that we got to have some rest days in, some easy but long runs, and also be able to extend those long runs. But then as well, do some cross training and also some tempo workouts. So with that in mind, we also got to make a schedule effectively. Then up here, we got a special thanks to my dad for the ruckus downstairs, as my mother is wanting him to remodel the floor. So the race is gonna be on a Thursday. We are here, effectively. Race day is here. So within this, we need to come up with distance runs, we need to come up with cross-training days, and we need to come up with tempo days, as well as days for rest, just cause. Tuesday, Thursday is almost always gonna be a pickup day. Pickup being pickup ultimate frisbee. Same with Saturday. So I could get my cross-training in there. Or do I wanna make these... Actually, I think I'll make these morning, like, long runs. Make Thursday my long run day. We'll do tempo. Probably do tempo on Friday. Wednesdays might shape up actually to be rest days. Yeah, there is the added caveat of this being a race day. So I think for that, I'll make Monday the rest day here. Go to pickup like I normally would. Have this be a easy day as a shakedown into race day. And then long run. And then for these, this is weird. I have tryouts for a Frisbee team like on this day, so I have to be smart about this. Maybe I'll just do a easy run for this. Try not to overcomplicate it. I think from there I could just alternate. Yeah, pick up, rest, pick up, rest, pick up. Yeah, I think this might actually be pretty robust. So from that point on, it's just a matter of doing. So let's wake up tomorrow and do it. And do it? Oh, we would. The next day, I went back to the local park and I had one thing on my mind. 3 miles.
Today's goal, I'm gonna keep relatively simple. We're just gonna do 3 miles. I don't give a shit how fast or how slow, but we ought to do 3 miles without any stops whatsoever.
Now, as I was warming up, I spotted a bit of a problem. It wasn't anything to do with my body or my shoes, but it was actually the weather. It had predicted that it'd rain later in the evening, but it didn't exactly say when in the weather app. Regardless, I had to put this benchmark down, so I could only just go out and run. And here's how that turned out.
So I got wrapped up not too long ago. We did a total of 3.3. Part of that was a 5K at 25-ish minutes, mid-25s I think. I definitely felt like I pushed, but the goal for today was 3 miles, and we fucking did it. Definitely went a little hard today, but I'm proud of this run. Let's fucking keep at it. Let's keep at it. Let's go.
As rough as that run was, it was a huge boost to morale, and the pace kind of proves it. But with Frisbee tryouts looming the next day, I decided to take it easy and just run around the neighborhood, which was actually pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. Minus the roadwork construction. Speaking of roads, does anyone want to go on a road trip? My mom had made plans to see family in South Carolina, and seeing as I hadn't seen them in over 11 years, I thought I'd tag along with. And as soon as we got there, she gets a haircut.
What are you doing? Cutting hair, Ma? What is Lola doing?
Cutting my hair.
How long have you been doing this?
More than 30 years. You should have seen what she did with my hair.
When?
In the Philippines.
Oh my goodness.
Tell him.
Whenever we get haircuts when Lola's in town, it's through her. She is the one who will cut our hair. Myself, sometimes my mother, sometimes Dad, sometimes my sisters.
The whole family.
Literally.
Whose hair was the most difficult to cut?
There's no difficult. You really know how to cut hair. Yeah, there's no difficult.
Okay, then which
person takes the longest to cut?
Or which person was the most uncooperative to get a haircut?
I think you.
Wow!
After being embarrassed like that, the next morning we decided to wake up early and see the sunrise and let me go run on Hilton Head Beach.
Yes, I am gonna carry this all the way with me. I'm gonna set maybe like 20 minutes timer. I just go that way, go back. If I run out of beach, I run out of beach, right?
Yes, you do. You run out of the beach, you will come back.
Alright.
Entrance number 5.
Now, in spite of the views, I don't know if it was the heat, humidity, or the one beer I had last night, but this run low-key kicked my ass. It felt slow and it felt hard to do, but overall, I wouldn't say it stung my trip at all. Afterwards, we got photos of the lighthouse and then said our goodbyes. Oh, and on the way there and back, we passed by a nuclear plant. You think? That looks like the border between a country. You're telling me that's a nuclear power plant?
Oh, yeah.
So, that was interesting, but back to work.
Welcome to week 2 of training. We're gonna do 4 miles today.
Now, this was one of the longer runs I've done point blank period. I think I've done 4 total during some cross-country practices, but that's after a mile warm-up and some dynamics. This was just 4 straight, and I felt it.
My legs are at that point. Oh God. We're so close. We're so close. I know it.
Thankfully, we got back to the car pretty soon after that, and this was a debrief.
Mileage, long run, number 2.5, 3 completed. We just did 4.3. I'll throw it up right here. But yeah, 4.3, mid-8s the whole way through. My knee was killing me towards the end, but holy. Let me actually do the math for this real quick. Yeah, I was running like mid-8s the entire way through. And so if we tap in like 8.5, because it's decimal form, 8.5 times 6.24, yeah. If we do that, we're looking at 53. And towards the end of that last third of a mile, I think it said my pace was like almost sub 8s, 8.2 or something like that. Either way, we're well on track to beat our goal, but with the knee stuff now, we gotta focus on recovery. So I'm gonna have to stretch after this. Rest is gonna be important. Nutrition is gonna be important. Hydration is gonna be important. I think that's what actually screwed me up on my Monday run on the beach. This is exciting though. If we're gonna be this fast, there's probably a little bit more we can eke out. Maybe just a little bit, but we gotta be smart. I'm gonna chug my water bottle, get home, get showered, and tomorrow, probably gonna do less miles, but I think we're doing tempo.
Before that though, we had to go get a watch from Walmart. Nothing fancy, just a cheap Casio, but these weren't. These are the shoes I'm gonna be running Peachtree Road Race in, and this was my tempo workout.
So today, we're gonna be doing some sprint interval training. I have these on me. I have the shoes that I will be running the Peachtree Road Race in, which is exciting. I get to try these out for the first time. They felt good in my warm-up 800, and yeah, I'm honestly thinking just like maybe a handful of 400-meter repeats, 45-second rest. It is windy on the 400s, and then we will see what I do for a cool down. It'll probably be another cool down 800, so let's get at it.
Despite claiming to want to get at it, I would be remiss if this run also didn't kick my ass. There's a reason why I didn't do track after freshman year, and that's because I'm slow, and it's also really hard to maintain sprint pace for this long, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just not built like that, but runs like these, while they were difficult, really helped figuring out where we were sprint interval wise, which is going to help a lot during race day. Hopefully though, in the next run, we'll take it easy, right?
Afternoon today is going to be kind of weird. We're going to be doing some pedestrian trail running today. I don't know if I want to take it easy, but we're going to go for 4 once again. So let's get to it.
Hang on. What do you mean you're not going to take it easy? And also 4? Pause.
To sum it up, there was a trail development that happened, I'd say maybe a few years back it got started. I have never run that part of my local trail system in my life, but I did some perusing on the Google Maps of my area, and we're gonna be running that today. We're effectively going from this tiny little trailhead that only really has a porta potty, this picnic table, and then 2 trash cans. It's really bare bones, but we're gonna be going there to the local skate park from this new part of the trail, so I'm excited. Let's get to it.
Hang on. I thought we said we would take it easy on runs like these. Why are we going so hard? Please tell me this isn't gonna go wrong. So, shit got way too serious, and the shirt had to come off, effectively. Today was one of the more difficult ones, for sure. I stopped like 3 times. First 2, it's just like the side stitch happened again. Went out too hard with not much hydration, so that's that. But the third one was like when I knew, okay, yeah, I can't go for it anymore. It got to a point where I had to take this off because I couldn't breathe. So that was difficult to stomach. That's two very difficult runs in a row after the 4 miler, so
we gotta reset and we gotta reevaluate what's going on. I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is, so yeah.
This was a big gut punch. I felt like we had been running well for the past few runs, but difficult days like these in the office isn't necessarily fun. Hopefully we can turn it around though and get back to flying. Speaking of flying, does anyone want to fly to Oregon? Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is this guy traveling so darn much? Well, I had my own reasons, but first we gotta go running.
So we are in sunny, beautiful, very moderately tempered, although quite windy Salem, Oregon. But it's not for Team USA trials. It's to continue training. This is to continue training for Peachtree Road Race. I looked on Google Maps at where our Airbnb is, and there's actually a park right by. And so we have prime location for this afternoon's run and then Thursday morning's run, which is gonna be a big test for me. So let's get dynamics going. Let's do this.
It was getting to this point as well in the summer where I had to start being really careful. I could feel my legs getting tight at certain points, so being really intentional with stretching before runs and afterwards became a big priority for me. As for the run itself, it was pretty straightforward once I found the park, although I wasn't expecting all this.
They got a creek going, nice bridge access to the park. This place is cool, let's run it. The gravel on this trail is really well maintained. Holy, like look at this.
I'm not even joking. This park was beautiful at every turn, because it had me saying this.
No shot. What?
They had an old historic house just sitting there all regal-like, and it made me think,
How much money are they putting into the parks in Oregon? God dang.
I'm not even joking. This park had everything, from history to little dog poop bags. They even had a strip of asphalt dedicated to soapbox car racing. What? And on top of that, I ran into Salem Ultimate Pickup Frisbee. And as we were playing, the ice cream truck came by. Literally the ice cream truck. You could not write this. I was having so much fun. Maybe a little too much fun.
So I might have done an oopsie. Made a fucky wucky, if you were so inclined, and gave myself a boo-boo in the muscular variety, which is fun. Yeah.
How on earth would I even say this on camera? While I was playing Frisbee that night, I remember planting my leg while marking defense in a way that gave me a really bad calf cramp. It was nothing major, I don't think I tore anything, but it felt pulled and strained enough to where I knew I was effectively done running-wise for the rest of the day. Hell, maybe even the rest of the week. To tell you I was defeated is a complete understatement. And as well, because we were on the other side of the country, I didn't have access to everything to fully massage and recover my legs. I think we tried to find Epsom salt, but the only thing we could really find was Epsom salt infused baby oil, which I don't know how well it worked. For the rest of the trip, I just had to be careful about how I moved and just really rest and try to enjoy it the best I could. But at this point, enjoying our time in Oregon was the least of my worries. At that point, my biggest was, would I be able to run in time for Peachtree? We would figure out that answer soon enough, but what else happened here in Oregon? Oh yeah, my sister graduated.
Oh, mommy's wet.
Congratulations, Claire. It was really good to see you. Now, coming home to Georgia though, something happened while we were in Oregon. I think the Airbnb had a cat in and around the house, and I just remember getting a really bad allergic reaction. But while we were in Oregon, something came in the mail. It was actually our bib for the Peachtree. So I decided to do an unboxing.
So pardon my sick voice and the fact that My MacBook is missing. Also forget that this is like phone audio right here. We're working with a jank setup, but we still got the multicam up because today we're doing, this is effectively my Peachtree Road Race bib unboxing. This came in the mail while we were still in Oregon, so a little bit of movie magic just now, but this is gonna have details like the shirt I'm gonna be getting, but also more importantly, the starting wave for the 10K, which is really, really important when it comes to finishing the race before the cutoff. So yeah, let's open this up. Hi, we're pausing this segment just for a moment because you might have questions as why is wave placement so important in something like this? Well, let me tell you. For added context, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is one of the biggest 10K races in the world. And I don't say that with hyperbole. It's expected that over 50,000 people are going to be racing in this year's Peachtree. And furthermore, this guy over here who helps lead the organizing for the event said that this might actually be the largest 10K in the world this year, which is actually big considering the fact that we're bouncing back from a few pandemic years. The thing is about an event like this, if you gather 50,000 people in mass in the city of Atlanta, it doesn't really go well. Like, we have issues with car traffic as it is on the interstate, so that's why we have wave assignments, so that way we don't also have to deal with foot traffic by pedestrians and runners and walkers and people on the course. Now, I didn't record this when I registered for this, but the way this works is you get to place a 10K or 5K time from an approved set of races to get a seating into the Peachtree Road Race. If you're a competitive runner and can run 6 or so miles in about 30 minutes or less, congratulations. You are probably going to be fast and might have a chance to actually win, so you'll be further towards the front. The slower you are, the further down from A at the very top that you get. So in a way, the better wave placement you get, the better chance you have at finishing the race early to get home and see your wife in bed with her work husband. That's right, cut the music. I'm talking to you, Shannon. We could have had it. Note, however, that this is my first Peachtree Road Race, and towards the bottom right here, it says specifically no seated time. This is where the problem might lie. You see, for big races like this, since they're in a large metropolitan area, you can only have the course open for participants for so long. Therefore, there's also a little thing called cutoff times. And the big thing about cutoff times is you have to maintain a certain pace in order to meet the maximum time available to you to finish the race. If you go past the cutoff pacer and see the track literally be broken down in front of you, you might not be recorded as a finisher once you get towards the very end of the course. The wave placement isn't just a thing for competitive racers, it's also a thing for finishing the race in general, which could also be effective not just by cutoff, but inclement weather like thunderstorms or extreme heat. Now, if I had a time that I could register this race for, I'd probably be up towards here in the middle, probably finishing at just over an hour at seated time, based off of a previous 5K that I couldn't put in because it wasn't approved and also it was too old. These last 4 waves are going to be important in the sense that we're not just going to be fighting slower moving traffic, but also maybe the cutoff. So we want to be as close to the front of these 4 as possible. Now, there's a lot more nuance to this, and I'm sure that I could talk about it more if these lights could stay lit. But this is future Duncan in a green screen, and we're going to cut back to past Duncan at his desk to see what he got for his wave assignment. And so, here we go. I will be starting in Wave W, okay. Getting a large shirt. Alright, that's a really, really big number, but... Oh, and it's got the chip in here too. Wow, okay. So these bibs are actually, like, smart bibs. I'm pretty sure I have, like, archival video of a tutorial of me putting, like, spikes on and then... these aren't spikes, but... and then putting a chip, like, right here. This bib is smart in the sense that it has the chip, like, right here. So once we cross the start line, this is gonna go off immediately. That being said, we're probably gonna do our own timing just to be... I don't wanna say completely accurate, but just so that we have it on me. So that way I know what I'm pacing at. Besides, I'm running in Wave W. I'm not gonna be competitive. I'm excited though, but we still got work to do. How's it going?
It's a few days after, still recovering a little bit from that sinus infection, and it's a scorcher. It's 91 degrees out, but I don't see a reason why we can't go for an easy 3. So, with that in mind, let's get out of the boot and let's get to it.
And I'm not joking when I said it was a scorcher. This is when the heat wave started in earnest, and this was me after dynamics.
It is hot. Maybe like 90 exactly, or like high 80s, but still, it is hot. And it's only getting hotter. Furthermore, we're less than 2 weeks to race day now, and yeah, this could be conditions as we cross the line, which I don't think would be exactly ideal, but we'll see.
Almost wrapped up. Holy hell. I think post-sinus infection would be good, but now a lot here still. So it's quite scratchy, but we're trucking through.
3.25 miles, I believe, is what we finished with. But yeah, all things considered, I think it's a good run. I will admit, this is like, I'd say an hour after I started now. Purely because, like, as you can see, I've been coughing for the past, like, several minutes, so, yeah. Depending on how I feel in the morning, I might elect not to go to pickup, but the fact that I still have some amount of pace is good. Sub 60, still our goal. Again, depending on how things go, maybe we could try for sub 50, but that might be reaching a bit now. But less than 2 weeks out from race day. Race day is in 13 days, so it's getting down to crunch time. So yeah, good progress today. We 100% will take these little victories where we can. So yeah, let's get home. It's June 24th. We are 10 days away. It's like 4 o'clock. I'm having a late lunch and cooking stir fry right now. Teeny bit of a predicament. We were supposed to do that 5-mile race sim in Salem. All things considered right now, we need to do a really, really long run. Again, I've never done 5 miles in a single sitting. Currently having to weigh up, like, what do we do? It's a lot. And I think the weight of our recent challenges, in the sense of how close they are to race day, it's got me concerned now. It is starting to creep in. Like, we've been doing good so far. We're still on track to make and smash our goal, but these are the money runs now. This is going to tell us where we are. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what do we do about that? What do we do about pacing? What do we do about all this stuff? It's a lot to take in, but right now, I think I just got to get calories. Hydrate is going to be a scorcher today, so yeah. That's where my head's at right now, but we're running today, and I'm going to make a decision in a minute. It was at this point in the whole training process where I started to feel really unsure about how this was all going to go. I don't know if anyone's ever said this as a professional athlete, but all I could think of was when the cameras are off and no one's watching, what are you going to do? How are you going to react? And who are you going to be when the pressure ramps up?
Are you...
Excuse me. Yeah, hello, who is it?
Jesus Christ the Nazarene, you could not write this! Alright, let me just explain what the fuck happened, because there's a lot to unpack here. I was going on my run as I normally would. It was quite late in the day, the park was popping, but I was also trying to do a simulation of my race, and that meant 6 laps of the mile loop that I've been running practically all summer at pretty much race pace. And if you're someone who grew up running cross country, at race pace, you should be running so hard you can't talk, period. I was running at near and about that pace, a little bit of strategy pacing because of the distance, and this lady had blocked basically the full width of the walking trail. And I told her, hey, could you move out of the way next time, please? We had a brief back and forth about the whole thing. It was pretty heated, to be honest, but she used that as impetus to call the police because I attacked her.
No, you are putting words in my mouth.
He's right there, and he's attacking me.
I am not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm filming this as well.
No, you was attacking me.
No, I did not lay hands on you at all, ma'am. I did not lay my hands on you at all. I have 0 weapons on me. I only have my car keys and my telephone.
There are a few defining hallmarks of attacks, fighting words, and physical actions.
neither of which happened, so she basically threw that out of thin air. To be fair, she was with her 1-year-old child and a stroller, but you were also blocking the trail, and she even had the gall to say that this isn't my private property. Ma'am, it's a public park. Yeah, I don't own the trail, but you don't either. And even worse, Karena Khrushchev here had the cojones to slander me to the dispatch. The whole situation was messed up, scary, considering that I'm also a minority, I'm Asian American, and I literally had to yell to the police officer, "I don't have any weapons on me," when they asked.
Okay. I don't know, but he looks very...
I have 0 weapons on me, officer, just my telephone and my car keys.
I don't know, he's yelling and he's... and this guy and my child, probably.
And another witness who just walked up as well. Yes.
I got dismissed shortly thereafter, but it was crazy because 5 squad cars pulled up. Literally, as I've been dismissed from this, there is 1 arriving, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So 5 squad cars total having to deal with a nothing burger because someone does not understand not taking up the middle of the running/walking trail while someone else is training and on a fast one for Peachtree Road Race. What the fuck? I don't think it was racially motivated, but at the same time, it's like the entitlement in this lady is just insane. It pisses me off just to think about it, but some people just don't know how to share the trail. So my advice for anyone watching this video who isn't a runner and is just a casual, share a public park trail. I don't own it, but neither do you. Both of us are trying to use it, and it makes it infinitely harder if it's fully blocked. By keeping a specific lane and giving space to faster moving traffic like me, it goes a long way into diffusing potential situations like this. So, even worse so, my race sim was ruined. I don't even remember what I ran that day. Hang on, let me check. Hang on. My average pace was an 8:07, pause. I had a negative split at 7:52. So, what I'm getting is if we keep this pace and we keep running, and we don't have a situation like that, we could be on for a fast one. Oh, and a fast one we were on for, but only one way to find out. The hard way. Hardly over a fucking mile today. Jesus Christ, why do I even try? I don't even know how to fucking explain it. Went out way too hard for my own good. Ruined my run because of it. Chasing some pie in the sky imaginary time that I haven't even met yet. All the while my fucking training's been derailed. Fuck. This was probably my worst day of training ever. Oh, and a fucking course. But with race day on the horizon, I felt the need to give myself a little pep talk. So, it's race day eve. We've been running rough the past several weeks, to be honest, the past 2 weeks. I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but for those who know me, y'all obviously know I like racing, motorsports. Growing up as a kid, running was the cheapest way for me to go racing. Because for motorsports, you need gobs and gobs and gobs of money. For running, you just need a pair of shoes. But particularly within motorsports, especially in sports like Formula 1 and NASCAR, you get caught up sometimes, especially with free agency, about out driving your equipment, the car you're in, to the point where it's the F1 game, a few years back, makes note of this. It's drive the car you're in. We definitely lost track of what the original goal is. The goal was, at the beginning, sub 60. It always was. But I think chasing that idea of going sub 50, I'm not running the pace that I'm at. And especially when you consider that I'm not racing in any of the seated times. The seated times are way faster than what I'm doing. But I'm trying to chase that. I think we need to stop trying to overachieve and just be ourselves. Just run how we would normally. That's going to be my game plan for tomorrow. And so, yeah, it is July 3rd. Peachtree Road Race is tomorrow. We have done everything we could have for training and running. I still believe that we will do sub 60. We are going to do sub 60. I don't believe we will fucking do it. but no more training runs now. Our endurance is what it is. My pace is what it is. And so the best way for me to go about this now is carbo load tonight, pound some water while I do it, pound a full Nalgene, and then pound another tonight. I am excited though, but I am very much so nervous just because of like everything that's happened. But I know what I'm capable of, and I also know what overstepping is gonna be in terms of this. And tomorrow, we just gotta strike that balance. Don't overthink the start. Don't overdo the miles or any of the paces. Yeah, run my run. Go get this shit. Atlanta just always seems to have something for live events. And as I was coming in from the suburbs into Midtown, I could feel it.
Elite women's already on the run. It's getting started, people. Let's go.
On top of the raw patriotism, you could tell something historic was gonna happen today. It only adds to it when you get to capture the start of the race itself.
But the elite waves have just gone, so that means I have to leave my mom behind. Do you have anything to say to me before I do this?
Don't push yourself, just run.
Just run? Alright.
After that, I was basically left to my own devices. I did some dynamics and eventually found my wave assignment. We had to wait for a good while, but we started creeping up towards the start line, and it started feeling real.
Made it to the start.
Happy 4th of July. Make some noise. Runners set. Go.
And just like that, we're moving.
The start was electric. I was flying. Yeah, it was a little bit hot, but it felt super duper fun to pick lanes and try to get through the pack as quickly as I could.
A little bit past mile 1. I don't even know what pace I'm running at. I'm not even gonna check. We're just gonna keep going.
It felt like that for a hot while, but then eventually at mile marker 4 is when it all started to hit me.
Cardiac kill defeated me. Definitely stopped a couple times running wise, but we still going forward. Come on, let's get it.
As I descended Cardiac Hill, it did not get any better. Matter of fact, my legs only got heavier and the heat only got worse. And as I was coming around the final corner towards Piedmont Park, I had it all to do.
It's just up there. We're so close, come on, come on.
But the finish line was just in sight. I could see it, I could feel it, but I kept stopping. Start, stop, start, stop. I tried so damn hard to get going, but I couldn't. Could it have been the way I prepped leading up to the race? Couldn't have been my pacing throughout Cardiac Hill? Could it do anything with the fact that it was legitimately the hottest Peachtree Road Race on record, and not 40 minutes after I crossed the line, they black flagged the entire event? I didn't know. Maybe it was the mental weight of trying to finish this under 60 minutes as well, but as soon as I got towards the line, I knew there was a chance that I wouldn't make it, but all I had to do was just finish the race as fast as I could. This was me as I was crossing the line. After 6 miles and 50 days, my legs were aching, my heart was on fire, my body was completely and utterly numb. I had finished the race. I had survived. I did it. We made it through the line, but we couldn't quite reach our goal. We crossed the line 1 hour, 1 minute, 27 seconds. I was completely distraught. But even worse, some of my closest friends, hell, my own mother said I shouldn't be upset with this. So what it was the hottest Peachtree Road Race on record? So what that we were sick for several weeks? So what that we were training completely alone and didn't have anyone to pace us or be our friends? And besides, even with everything going against us, we finished damn close to our goal. We should be proud of that. It just wasn't quite meant to be. Oh, hell no. Fuck that.
It's July 20th. I'm at a brewery on Beltline in Atlanta. Today we're getting my fucking revenge.
This is not a cute little hobby. You're not out here because it's easy. If it were easy, everyone would try this. You're out here because you want to challenge yourself. And when you challenge yourself, you get results.
10K finished. I think we did it. Let's go.
This course was quite a bit flatter, being on Beltline, and it was also quite more local, but I didn't expect to get 3rd overall in my age group. And furthermore, we finished the race with a 55 dead. I was elated, overjoyed. And so, before I left for Belmont, I decided to immortalize this weekend in my room. Yeah, I didn't run the Peachtree in sub 60, and my summer didn't go the way I wanted to, but I at least have this to be proud of.
All right, we're wrapped. It's over. The video's out and everything. Oh my goodness. First and foremost, if you've made it this far, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This is legitimately like the biggest, most ambitious project I've ever made. A lot of heart and soul. A few sleepless nights recently went to it, and I didn't even think this video was gonna get out. For those of you who like are really in the know, the file for this actually got corrupted over the summer, and that's when I wanted to post it initially, but I'm happy that this is finally out now. So yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've made one of these, and I didn't know how much I just miss the whole like process. Coming up with a video idea or like a story off of like footage I have or footage them wanting to make of a weekend, or obviously a process like this. I'm sorry as well that this effectively breaks my 1.5 years+ of silence on YouTube. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Who knows? I might drop next Wednesday. I don't know. Or maybe. I have a remote video project that I'm really needing to do. And it also kind of falls along the lines of not my last video, but the one before that a lot of you guys who subscribe to this channel really enjoyed, where I made a POV camera rig out of trash. Matter of fact, that video right there is available for you to watch and is much shorter than this one. Otherwise, right here is a video that YouTube thinks you, yes, you will enjoy. And yeah, thank you guys for bearing with me over the past 1.5 years. We for real got a new mainline Duncan McCarthy video before GTA 6. Count your blessings, people. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me through this and for watching this video. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully not after this long. No promises.